Hello everyone, today we're taking a look at three different cameras. I tried to get this done before Christmas, but I couldn't quite slip it in. So we're going to have the stock DJI camera, the Nebula Pro, and inside this one is the Nebula Nano. You might be asking yourself why this particular one. It's because the Nebula Nano was also updated. If you go back to my GepRC P16 review video that happened, I think it was in August, that had the Nebula Nano in it as well, but it was a much lower quality image that it presented. I did inquire to Caddx about this one having been updated, and they did say that there was a small update applied. Does that mean a new chip? What does that mean? They didn't elaborate. So we're going to compare these three. Of course, I don't expect the Nebula Nano to compete with these, but I wanted to put them all in there as these are the three most recent cameras, or the cameras that I have that I can compare. We've only got about 3 minutes of footage, and I did try to line up segments. Of course, these are three different quads, and I don't have the ability to record all three cameras at the same time. I don't have the ability to record two cameras at the same time. So what I tried to do was fly similar flight paths. I made a lot of passes, and then I tried to take some passes that matched up somewhat in speed and path. That way you could get kind of a triple view that might help you diagnose which camera is better. I think for the most part, if you're just looking at the Nebula Nano, you're just kind of looking at it to see how much different it is than the other two. And then, of course, you can look at the DJI and the Nebula Pro. I've abbreviated to make them fit on screen neatly. You might be trying to decide which one is better. So at least some sections of these, it might only be for a moment, should all three line up, but you'll find the DJI camera and the Nebula Pro line up the most frequently for the longest period of time. At the end of this, I've also got a section that I took a screenshot of all three where I've got the sun in view. I'm actually coming towards the garage. It's a little bit different view than we see in all these different run-ups that I've got presented here. And I took a screenshot of that to give you just a moment to look at that particular image and maybe grade that out as far as these three cameras, or if you're only comparing two of the cameras, that would make sense as well. As you can see, I got a very sunny day. I actually filmed this twice. That's one of the reasons why I didn't get it out before Christmas. I had to wait for another sunny day because my previous sunny day, I only did the DJI camera and the Nebula Pro camera, and I thought I should include the Nebula Nano. Especially being a micro channel and microcentric, you might wonder if I get the Nebula Nano, how much different does it look than the other two cameras? What am I sacrificing? What am I giving up? Of course, weight is a big deal. When it comes to micros, the DJI camera comes in at about 10 grams. The Nebula Pro comes in around, I think, 7.5 grams. And then the Nebula Nano comes in around 5 grams. So those are important specifications as well, not just the image quality, especially when it comes to micros, as I do on this channel. We're coming up on the 2-minute mark of the footage that we've seen so far. Of course, you might want to use the gear icon to slow playback. You might want to be scrubbing around in there in order to get the images lined up like you want to view them, or if you saw something and you need to pause it or watch it back a little bit slower, YouTube does provide some tools for us to use to get those comparisons or to make comparisons on our own. You can also see a bit of my canopy on the Nebula Pro. That is from the Zero 4. That is an Avant Quad Squad. And I left that as is because that becomes a notifier for me as to what camera is what. It's a little bit hard to tell when you're recording one right after another on the same goggles and which flight is which. This is the image that we've got that I've still framed for you, just so you can take a look. I thought this was all pretty well lined up, and there were some differences there that you might want to see. That's all I have for you today, just a short comparison video. I was pretty happy with the Nebula Nano and how it came out. It's got a little bit of a yellow or orange hue to it, but really when it comes to the image quality, it was far better than it was back in August when I did that P16 review. So not bad at all. Of course, most of you are probably grading out these two cameras. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or otherwise, please let me know in the section down below. I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.